Hello guys, you're welcome back to Valmich Fits. So this is a continuation video of how to draft a Victorian or an overbust corset top as promised on my previous video. This is the back pattern tutorial, so please we're just going to go straight into the class. Now I'm going to roll a straight line. This is going to serve as my start line and also my shoulder line. Of course, you know in everything there's always a start point. So the next step I'm going to take is my back full length. So in my previous video I talked about this, that the front and the back full length are not the same. The front is always longer than the back because of the bust area. The front full length is 24 inches. So we subtracted 2 inches away from the front side panel, and if you subtract that away from 24 inches, that will give us 22 inches. Also remember, after adding extra 1.5 inches for extra dart for the center front and the side front, we ended up removing 2.5 inches for our bust dart. So that will be removing 2.5 inches for our back full length. Now I'm going to count up from 24 inches to 21.5 inches. At this point, 21.5 inches will be our back full length. Please, if you're in my channel for the first time and you have also not seen the part 1 of this tutorial, I'll drop the link in my description box to enable you watch and understand from the very beginning. Now I'm going to mark 21.5 inches, and I'll also come this way to mark the same thing. After doing that, I'm going to rule a line across, connecting the points together. Now that I have done that, I'm going to start taking in my vertical measurement, that is the measurement that starts from the shoulder line downwards. So I'll take my shoulder to my bust point. Now I'm going to take my shoulder to my back half length, and I'm using 15 inches for that. For the front I used 17 inches, so for the back I'm using 15 inches. Now I'm going to take the same measurement on this other side. 10.5 inches for the bust point, 15 inches for the half length or the waistline. There will be no under bust point for the back pattern. So now I'm going to roll a line across, connecting all these points together. So now we're going to take our chest line measurement. So we're going up by 2 inches, just like we did for the front. I'll mark the points down and also connect them together. After connecting this together, I would go ahead to label all my lines. So I have my chest line, I have my bust point here, the next is my waistline or my half length, and here is my back full length. The next step I'm going to take is my shoulder measurement divided by 2. My shoulder measurement is 16 inches, that divided by 2 is 8 inches. Now I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll also take my shoulder measurement on my chest line so that I would have a straight line from the shoulder line to the chest line. Now I'm going to connect these 2 points together. The next thing I'm going to do is to take my round neck measurement. I'll be taking my neck width here, which is 3.5 inches, just like the front, and connect to the shoulder slope. Now I'm going to take my armhole curve. I'll divide this line in two and take the midpoint. I'll go in by half an inch. For the front we did 0.75 inch, so for the back it's half an inch. Now what I did there was to take my bust measurement divided by 4. Then I'll connect this into the chest line. That will be the back armhole curve. The next thing I'm going to do here is to start taking the bust span measurement or the nipple to nipple measurement. I'm going to take it all on these lines to enable me create the dart for the back. So guys, this tutorial is absolutely beginners friendly. That is why I'm taking my time to explain all these things in details. Now what I'm going to do next, on the waistline I'll go out by half an inch on each side of the dart line. So I'll connect from the chest line to the waistline where I have the half inch marked, and then connect it back to the full length like you can see me do right here. So after connecting these points together, I have the first dart opening here. Now I would like to have extra dart opening on the side panel. I'll be adding 1 inch for the dart opening. So I'm going to take my round body measurement or my horizontal measurement. Since I have my bust measurement marked, the next I'm going to take is my waist measurement. That is the round waist measurement. So I'll take down my round waist measurement and measure what I have on that space, which is 1 inch. I'm going to put it down. Now I'm having extra 1 inch for the next dart opening. I'm going to also put down the 1 inch there. On my bust point, whatever I have there on the dart opening, I'll add it to the bust measurement. So I'll put down my bust measurement, that is the round bust measurement, and add whatever I got between the dart space. Now I'm going to take my hip measurement on my full length, just like I did for the front. So I'll take my hip measurement divided by 4 and put the points down. Now I'm going to connect all these points together to form the side shape. So I'll connect from the chest line down to the full length. So this is what we have right now. Like I said earlier, I added extra 1 inch to have another dart opening. So I'll divide this side panel by 2 and put the point down. I'm going to use it as a guide to rule a straight line from the chest line to the full length. So on that point, I will go out by ½ inch on each side of the dart line. I'll connect it just like I did for the first dart opening from the chest line to the full length, and also do the same thing on the other side. So guys, you can go ahead to follow just the same steps like you can see right here. Now for the center back, I want it to be opened by about 3 inches, or however you want your center back to be open. For me, I don't want mine to be too exposed because I would not be adding a model steel panel to the back. So I'll just take whatever I have on these panels and use it as a guide for the center back opening. So what I have left is about 1.2 or 3/4 inches. I'll just use that as the center back opening. I should have about 2.5 inches on my center back opening, but I can still close this further when snatching the waistline. So I'm just going to shade out this dart space to let you guys know where would not be needing. So after doing all that, guys, the next step is for us to take our neck measurement. So I'm going to take my neck depth. I'll be using just 1.5 inches for the neck depth. I already took 3.5 inches for the neck width like I did for the front. So for the back, I'm using just 1.5 inches. This totally depends on how deep you want your neckline to be. Now I'm going to have like a nice curve for the chest line. You can decide to leave yours straight or create whatever style line you want for your back pattern. For me, I'll just go down a little. This should be about ½ inch from the chest line. Now for the yoke part, you can decide to create a keyhole style line or whatever you prefer for the yoke design. Me, I'm just going to leave mine like this and have buttons run down from the neckline to the chest line. Now on this side, I'm going up by 2 inches, just like I did for the side front. I'll connect it to the center back with a nice curve line. After that, I'll go ahead to add my ½ inch seam allowance on the hemline, just like I did for the front. The next thing I'll be doing is to cut out this piece. But before I cut them out in pieces, I'm going to add my side seam allowance of 1 inch. So I'm just going to use my tape rule to make sure I got the measurement right, because initially I didn't make use of my tape rule. Now I'll cut this pattern out, and before I cut out in pieces, I'm going to label first because I don't want to make any mistake with my pattern pieces. So I have the center back one, the side back one, and the side back two, because if you look at this very well, the shapes are almost looking the same. So I'm going to label the top my back yoke. Please, if you don't know how to cut out a keyhole style line for your yoke, I have a very detailed tutorial already on my channel. You can go check that out. Now I have all my pattern pieces for the back block set. I have the center back one, the side back one, and the side back two, and also my very beautiful yoke on the top. Also for the yoke, you can decide to make it start from where you have the center back one start from. It is not compulsory you start from your exact center back, but I decided to make my look this way. You can do otherwise for yourself. If you don't want to attach buttons on the yoke, you can also attach a zipper, but for that you have to go lower a bit on the chest line for a short zipper to fit in. So now I'll check to make sure my side front and my side back are of equal length, so I don't have any troubles when stitching this both pieces together. But if you find out your back piece is a little bit longer, then trim off a little from the armhole area to measure up with the armhole of the side front. So this is what I have for the back pattern, and if you're here for the first time, I have a very detailed tutorial already on my channel drafting the front pattern. I'm going to take this away to show you guys. So this is the front and the back put together, and for this top I'll be making use of an inseam finishing for the side. So guys, I'll be putting up a very detailed sewing tutorial for this top. This tutorial is going to be packed with lots of beautiful techniques from the beginning to the end of the sewing of this beautiful Victorian corset top. So you can see what I have here. I have an already made bust cup attached to my lining, but for the main fabric I'm going to be doing different, so you might want to come back to learn more on these beautiful techniques. Alright guys, if this tutorial was helpful to you, please give this video a thumbs up and also drop your comments. For now, I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.